Hi everybody, happy Monday. I just wanted to take a few minutes to go over how to quote and cite works from an anthology. I noticed some of you had some problems with that in the first week. So just as a refresher, your textbook is an anthology, which means it's just a collection of works that have been published somewhere else before. So the editors of your textbook, Kane, McDermott, etc., have decided which works to collect and republish in this anthology. But in addition to that, they also create some accompanying materials, such as the information about specific literary movements or periods. They also are responsible for the biographies about the individual authors and footnotes. So when you're quoting from a source from your textbook, you need to make sure that you give authorial credit to the correct person or people. Okay, so if you're quoting from material that the editors are responsible for example, from our specific reading, you had in week 1 this chapter, if you will, called American Literature at the End of the 19th Century. That appeared on pages 1 through 10. Okay, we also read a biography about Samuel L. Clemens, or Mark Twain, as you probably better know him. And then there are also footnotes that appear as further additional explanation for points of the story. Your editors are responsible for all of that material. Okay, so if you quote from any of that, you would give credit to the editors of your textbook. On the other hand, if you're quoting from one of the stories or poems that we read, such as Twain's story or Ambrose Bierce's story, seen here, then you would need to give credit to the individual author. Okay, so let's take a look and see what each type of citation looks like. All right, so if you're going to cite material that the editors are responsible for, this is what it would look like. Of course, the second line would be indented. It just isn't easy to do on PowerPoint, so forgive me for that. But you've got the editors' names, and then the year of publication of your textbook, the title of your textbook, the volume, the edition, and the location and publisher name. And then your in-text citation would look like this. And I just pretended that we had, on page 5, a specific quote. If you are quoting from an individual work written by someone else, then you need to give credit to that author. So for example, if you wanted to quote from the notorious jumping frog of Calaveras County, this is what your citation would look like. Okay, I went with Mark Twain as the name. You could also use Clemens, whichever one is fine with me. Okay, but you would start with the author's last name, the year of publication of your textbook, the title of the story. Note the difference in capitalization in your references list. Okay, in the references list for titles, you only capitalize proper nouns and first words of a title or subtitle. Okay, and you don't use quotation marks for titles of short stories or poems. Okay, so anyway, you put the title, then you put the editor's names, the title of the textbook, and the inclusive page number where the story appears in the textbook. And then you can find on the last page, on page 18, you'll see that the original published work was in 1867, so you denote that in your citation as well. Okay, this is what your reference citation would look like. Your in-text citation, you would use the author's last name, the original year of publication, the year of publication of your textbook, and then the specific page on which you found the quote. Okay, and again, it would be fine to use either Twain or Clemens. So I hope that helps clear that up. What you don't want to do is give the editors credit for writing everything in your textbook, because that's not really true, right? They are just collecting what other people have written and adding their own material on top of that. Okay, so it's important to attempt to try to cite that correctly. If you have any questions, let me know. You can find material about APA format and citations by going to the Ashford Writing Center. The OWL at Purdue also has an excellent resource which you can find there. So, and again, let me know if you have any questions, and have a good week. I'll see you in class.